Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, mute yourself. So now write a story in 4 minutes. Basically, you will be given 4 minutes to write the story. How do you write the story? I'll do a fast recap on that. Introduction, it has to be crisp. That means not too much of data, not too much of words. It should just convey the theme. Don't describe the picture. Some candidates have got an habit of just, there is a train, there is a vehicle going on, there are a few trees. All these things are not allowed. You have to start writing a story, it should flow naturally. The story should relate to the theme and the characters. Whatever is shown in the picture, you should write a story about that. The picture could be something, the candidate would write something else, totally unconnected. Don't do that. That's not permitted. Whatever is there in the picture, the story should revolve around those characters and the theme which is being projected there. Now, the story. What led to the situation? One or two lines. Basically, this is the introduction to the happenings before what is being shown in the picture. What led to the situation? What are the actions? What are the activities that you have imagined that have happened before the start of this scene which is shown in the picture? So it should be just 1 to 2 lines. Then what is happening now? 5 to 6 lines. Basically, this is the actions related to the picture which is being shown to you. What is happening now? Now in this, the initial attempt is basically what does the hero do as soon as this scene starts. So it is like watching a TV, movie or something. A particular scene opens, and when the scene opens, the hero does something. Maybe he talks to somebody, or she boards a bus, or he or she sees the accident happening in front of them, something like that. That is the initial attempt. Basically, the moment you see the accident happening, you go and try to offer first aid. Maybe as soon as the bus comes, you board the bus. So this is the initial attempt, immediate action as soon as the scene starts. Then the hero takes proactive steps. So proactive step is this: when you once you see that thing, say again, I go back to the same accident thing because the common thing is this topic has been discussed many times. So there is an accident which has been noticed by the hero. So as soon as the hero sees that, he goes to the person who is injured and tries to give first aid. So that's a proactive step. At the same time, he may call the police. At the same time, he may look for an ambulance. He may look for a first aid kit. He may look for some water. So all these are proactive steps. Like a hero is always a leader. A leader takes steps suo moto. That means on his own. They don't wait for anybody's orders. If there is an accident, the hero starts the action immediately to take charge of that situation. He or she doesn't wait for somebody to tell, oh, go and do that. No, that is not like a leader. A leader takes proactive steps. The leader is a self driven person. The leader will take action on his own. So this is proactive step. In this case, the proactive steps are trying to give first aid, trying to asking somebody to get some water or a first aid kit or some bandage or a cloth, calling up the police or asking a friend to call up the ambulance. All these are all proactive steps. The leader takes charge of the situation and starts acting towards solving the problems that have been presented to him. Then addresses the challenges, later achieves the goal. So basically, the once the scenario unfolds, the hero assesses the situation. sees what are the problems. The person who is injured is a problem, the traffic is blocked, that is a problem. You have to go and attend a function, even that is a thing that you need to do. All these are thought about by the hero. Then the story should showcase determination and courage. Again, I go back to the goal setting part, what I talked about in the last class. If the goal is high enough, you can show a lot of leadership qualities, officer like qualities in the story that relates to the hero. If you set a normal goal, this is not possible, so remember this always. Then the detailed actions. As I told you earlier, you can just finish the action in one line. The hero went and gave first aid and saved the person who is injured. So this is a one line story. You are not supposed to write like that. You are supposed to give detailed actions. First, the hero saw the person in a pool of blood. The head injury, he inspected and found that the person has got a head injury. So as soon as the person is found to be having a head injury, you are supposed to make that person lie down in such a fashion that the head is higher than the body level. Then the hero takes a bandage from the car in the first aid kit which is kept in the car and applies it. At the same time, the hero asks a friend to call up 108 to summon an ambulance. And also, another friend is there, you ask him to call the phone number 100 and request police assistance in clearing the traffic and getting this vehicle aside. Maybe they'll bring a towing vehicle or something. These are all detailed actions. It is your imagination how detailed you want to be. So you write it in detail rather than just finishing it in one line. Basically, the specific actions of the hero leading to the resolution of a problem or achieving the aim. In this case, saving the person is the first problem the hero has got in hand. So to do that, the hero gives first aid using all the available means, and then the problem is resolved. Basically, the patient is being shifted to the hospital and his life is saved. In this, you have to always remember, as I told you, you ask your friend to call up the police. You ask another friend to help with the handling of the patient, to make that patient lie down in a proper place and try to give a first aid. You also ask somebody else to get some medicine or something else, anything. Basically, it's a collaboration. Your leadership quality is in collaborating in a team. You are not a loner. You are a team member. You are a team leader. You always have to collaborate with your team. So in this place, you may not have your friends next to you. So in that case, what happens is the persons who are around you become the collaborators. You request somebody who is standing there to ask the ambulance to come, or ask for some water, or assist in lifting the patient, something like that. So collaboration should always be reflected wherever possible. So the teamwork is emphasized. At the same time, don't forget those people who have helped you in that action. You should be thanking them at the end. Note this point, a lot of people miss this out. After having achieved the aim, after having solved the problem, the hero always thanks the people associated with him in this action for their contribution and support. So this collective effort and support is what you have to project in your story. Then adapting the strategy. Strategy is like, you will not have all the resources all the time. You look for a bandage, probably the bandage is not there. You look for some medical shop or something where you may get a bandage, it is not there. So what is the next option? You just take out your handkerchief, maybe it is not long enough. You request other two people to give their handkerchief, tie them together, or hold them, pad them together and apply it on the wound. So all these are all strategies where you have to use your ingenuity in managing resources. Because in military life, in a war or any other situation, the resources are always short. You will not have all the resources. If there is a platoon, say about 40 people are there, you may not have sufficient ammunition for all the 40 people. You may not have enough batteries to use your radio set. You may not have all the 40 people. Somebody might have gone on leave, and before the operation started, that person might have not been able to come back and join the platoon. So all these, resource crunch will be there. You have to adapt a strategy where you need to find ways to overcome these drawbacks and make resources available in whatever manner you can. Again, adjusting approach against setbacks. While you're doing it, something may not work the way you want it. Something may go wrong. Somebody may, not be available to you at that time. So what will you do? These are all small setbacks, minor setbacks en route. So if you don't have an ammunition, you start using your kukri in hand-to-hand fight, something like that. So you have to adjust your approach based on your availability of resources. Sometimes what happens, you want to launch an attack from one side. Okay, you ask your team to go and launch the attack from one side, and you start giving covering from fire from the other side. So what happens is, this team which goes to attack on that side finds a minefield there and gets delayed. So that's a setback. Your plan is not going as per the initial way you wanted it to happen. There is a setback. What will you do? You will have to ask them to give covering fire, and you have to ask the other team which is giving covering fire to attack from another flank. So small setbacks keep coming. You have to keep adjusting your strategy so that you achieve your aim. Positivity and resourcefulness. I have already covered this earlier in the class in a very detailed manner. You will be faced with problems. As a leader, your life is not going to be easy. At the same time, you are expected to be with a cheerful approach when you have these problems. Because when you are stressed with problems, when you get overwhelmed when you face problems, what will happen is your capacity, your energy level, your willingness to work will go down. So with that kind of an inherent weakness, you can't plan and execute an operation. So you should be ready to receive problems. If you are preparing yourself for 10 problems, you will get 20 problems. You should be ready to accept all those problems and then try to find out solutions to all of them without getting bogged down. You should not worry, oh my God, so many problems are there. What will I do? You will have to find a way. That is like a leader. A leader always finds a solution. A loser always keeps complaining. What do you want to be? If you want to be a leader, any problem that comes your way, you should try to find solution to that. And resourcefulness. Resourcefulness basically means that firstly, you should know what resources are there with you. You should know how to apply them correctly. And in case you fall short of some resource, you should be able to improvise something. You should be able to make do with something else which can do the same job. So you have to find ways and means to employ the resources that are available to you. And then discussion. Discussion, of course, we'll be covering separately again. Learn new skills. Basically, some kind of a learning should be there in the story. At the end, when you write, the hero has learned something. A hero has gotten, try to get some, takeaway from the situation. And just because he had to apply his skills to solving this problem, he learned some new skills. So all these should be part of your summary at the end. Further action basically means the way you had the previous happenings. What led to the situation was there before the current situation. Now, when you end the story, you have to go a little bit into the future also. Basically, after the success is achieved, what did the hero do? Say, for example, in this accident scenario, the patient has been saved, the traffic has been cleared, and other activities have been completed and things have been normalized. Basically, you also went and attended your function. But what is there in future? You have identified that this particular location has got an accident problem. So you request the police commissioner or the municipality to put a signboard there saying that this is an accident prone zone. You requested them to put a speed breaker in that area. So these are the further actions, which are the future actions which will ensure that next time when somebody faces this problem, they will come out of it easily. Further actions. In a war scenario, you went with a particular amount of ammunition based on the plan which you made initially, but that plan did not work. You had to use some other method to solve the same problem wherein you needed more ammunition. So, next time when you go for a similar operation, you will think about such problems that may come suddenly. You will cater for the additional ammunition also in the next time. So that is also part of the further action. So lessons learnt as well as future actions that are being taken by the hero. This has to be highlighted. Determination. Yes, the hero is determined to achieve positive success in all the problems he has been presented with. So that determination has to be there. He cannot run away from the battlefield. He cannot run away from the problem. Say the accident has happened. The hero cannot say the accident has happened, so let somebody nearby come and help those persons. The police will take care. Let me go and do my job. So that is like a loser. A determined leader, come what may, always solves the problems that are being presented to him. Innovative thinking. Yes, innovative thinking is very important because what you initially thought would happen may not happen that way. It may happen in a different way. If you have been following the interviews being given by a president of a country who is on war, you will understand how this innovative thinking is. I'll not name names, you go back and check. Persistence. When you start a plan, it may not work. You modify the plan, you apply it again it doesn't work. It doesn't work many times, but you have to be persistent enough to continue to do the action whatever way it takes, and being persistent so that you achieve the goal. You cannot run away in the middle saying that, oh my god, this job is too tough for me, it is not working out, and you run away. No, that is not permitted. Additional steps taken, as I told you earlier, you can request the municipality for a speed breaker. You can ask the police to put some police beat there. Some policemen could be stationed during peak hours, something like that. So these are the additional steps taken where you will get to display all the leadership qualities the leader, your hero, possesses. This is the final stage where reflection. Whatever has happened, the hero analyzes, then thanks all those who supported him and were part of the team to get this work done. Then also see what were the mistakes which had happened during this, because nothing is going to be mistake free. You might have miscalculated something, you might have done some mistake. Then you have to reflect on it and see how it does not happen in future. What actions are need to be taken to avoid that in future. Again, the same reflection, introspection. Basically, introspection is the self fault finding. Reflection is just analyzing what happened. Lessons learnt. Again, you have to mention it briefly. What lessons were learnt in that? Yes, with so many experiences, the personal growth happens. The leader learns something. The leader becomes a wiser person. Then there's summarizing the final outcome of the story should be in 1 or 2 lines. So whatever was achieved, the patient was saved, another accident was prevented, and also the hero went and attended the function. So this is the outcome of the story. Conclusion of efforts will be the highlight of this, because all the efforts which were taken in order to solve the problem. So that has to be mentioned. resolution of a challenge, or achievement of a goal. So, as I already told you, you have to summarize these things. The broader impact of the hero's actions. You can add a few words about this. You can say that after the municipality installed a speed breaker, all the police personnel were posted. That place never, experienced an accident like that. So that's the broader impact of the hero's action, so that everybody, the whole society benefits. Expression of gratitude, recognition of contributions, values like teamwork and humility. Humility is very important. Never believe that you are the person who is in control of everything and you should take all credit. No, you have to give the credit where due to other people who have contributed. A leader is somebody who accepts any mistake as his and accepts anything that has gone positively attributed to the teamwork or the team members. So, whatever good is achieved, you praise your people, your team. If something has gone wrong, a leader takes responsibility on himself only. Says it's my fault, my wrong calculation, my miscalculation, my lack of knowledge led to this situation. So I'm sorry about that. This is how a leader behaves. Certain do's and don'ts, we'll quickly cover them. Make hero relatable to the story. The hero's actions, the hero's description has to be relatable to the story that you are making. It should not be something different. Use the details carefully. Whatever is there in the picture, you should not miss anything. Stay positive and practical. Underline this word practical. You are not a superhuman being. You are not God. You are not an angel who can do magic. You are a normal human being. You should be practical as per your age and experience. Anything that is possible can be depicted in the story. Impossible things should not be portrayed. You cannot portray your hero as a superhero who exists only in comics and cartoons. You have to be a real hero who lives in the practical world and does normal things that are possible to be done by human beings, normal human beings. Clear actions. Whatever actions you do have to be described properly, and it should not give any inkling of a confusion in the hero's mind. If there is an accident, the hero knows what to do. He knows how to do the first aid. He knows what number to call for ambulance and which is the number supposed to be called for police help. So that should be clearly mentioned there. Teamwork, very clear. We've already discussed this adequately. Don'ts. Don't describe the picture. Avoid unnecessary problems and conflicts. Don't bring any new problem from outside. Don't mention anything that has not been shown to you. Don't invent new problems and then solve them. That is not permitted. No morals or preaching. Don't put others down. Don't blame it on somebody else. Don't portray the hero as a low profile, weak or helpless person. Avoid unrealistic or miraculous solutions that cannot happen in normal life. Now the conduct of the discussion. You will be made to sit in a group of 12 to 15 candidates in a semicircular fashion in a chair. You may get a revision time of about 30 minutes to 1 hour. You may not get. Remember this always. There are two things which sometimes happen, which sometimes do not happen. One is that you may get time to think about your story. Because after you write the story, the papers will be taken back and you should remember your story. You should not write the story and forget it. That is one. Sometimes they give the papers back to you before the start of the discussion and ask you to refer to it once and refresh your memory. It may happen, it may not happen. So when you write the story, be clear as to what you're writing, and you should remember. You cannot write something in the story and talk something else in the discussion. You will get caught. So how do you remember this? By practice. When you practice writing more number of stories, you will automatically remember the plot of the story. So always remember what you have written properly. If you get a revision time, if you get that paper again for you to revise, it is a bonus for you. If not, you should not be found wanting that you've forgotten your story altogether. Always remember this. Now practice narration. This is for your practice. How do you practice? The story narration has to be properly practiced because it is time bound. You will get only 1 minute to narrate your story. In that 1 minute, you have to narrate your complete story. And if you generally cover your story between 50 seconds and 60 seconds, it is okay. You cannot go less than 50 seconds, and you cannot go beyond 60 seconds, then you will get a penalty. So this will come only with practice. Make stories, start narrating them on your own with a timer next to you, so that you get an indication at the 50-second mark, and at 60 seconds you get a final closing indication. So this practice has to be carried out by you in your own time in front of a mirror. When you come for offline practice, we will give you adequate practice in this when you face other people. Now, as long as the offline session doesn't start, you have to start practicing this narration on your own. So this is, again, I told you, story sheet may be given, may not be given. Whatever it is, you have to remember the story. Now the GTO will announce that you will start the discussion. Okay. So once the announcement is given, the first person, as per the serial order of the chest numbers, will have to get up and start narrating the story. For PPDT, you will have the GTO, the interviewing officer, as well as the psychologist sitting there. Remember this. This is the only place where all three people sit and watch you perform. The next time you will meet them only in the conference hall as a full team. Rather, that will be a bigger team, because there may be more than one psychologist and more than more than one of the other specialists as well. So they'll all be sitting and watching you. You're not supposed to look at them. You are supposed to look at only your syndicate people. This group of people is called a syndicate. So the first person narrates the story within a minute, and you will get a bell for you to stop if you go beyond 60 seconds. Remember that. If you finish before 60 seconds, the assessor will tell the next person to start. So the next person should be ready. The previous person may overshoot time. The previous person may just talk something for 30 seconds and stop. If you keep waiting for the 60-second mark to start, you will get foxed. You will not be prepared enough to start the conversation. So what you need to do is be always alert. Listen to the other person. Listen to the story and understand what he or she is trying to say. Because later during the discussion, all these observations will help you in putting your point across or counterpoint. So in 1 minute, each one will get that 1 minute and you will narrate your story. And when the last person finishes, the discussion starts automatically. So after the last candidate finishes the narration, people will be waiting to start the discussion. The assessor will not say, okay, start discussion. No, it will automatically start. So you have to start immediately after the last narration. Now, everyone is waiting for the same moment when the narration ends and the discussion starts. So suddenly there will be too much of noise. There will be a fish market situation where everybody is talking, everybody is trying to convey something to the others, and there is total commotion which will be there. You can't avoid it. So what you need to do is to, if you are able to cut through the noise and convey what you can, please do it. In case you are not able to start immediately after the last narration ends, you can wait for a few seconds and start, but don't wait for too long without starting. That is a negative indication because that shows nervousness, that shows hesitation, that shows lack of self confidence. However, you are not expected to shout or argue with people. You are just conveying, you are just discussing. Know the difference between these two. There are some people in the syndicate who will start shouting at the top of their voice, trying to be heard by the assessor above everybody else's voice. There are people who point hands at the others. They are, there are people who will, put others down to talk. A lot of other things happen. But be cool, calm, and just discuss what you can. When you come to practical classes, you will understand more about how to do what you are supposed to do and what not to do. As I told you, don't be dumbstruck. What does it mean? The moment the discussion starts, some people do not get the starting words. They cannot start. The moment they are not able to start, what happens is they feel embarrassed. I have not been able to start, but others have started. So what happens is you get confused for a moment. You don't get words to start. You start getting stuck because you are not prepared for that situation. So it happens, but you have to recollect your composure within a few seconds and you should join the conversation. Even if you get stuck, it is fine, but at least start in reasonable time. Maybe within 5 seconds or so, you can start. Don't show anger and frustration. This is a psychological game. There are people who come with a lot of preparation. They would have practiced hundreds of pictures. They would have practiced hours together narrating different stories. They may be attempting for the 15th time or the 20th time. They will definitely be good, better than you. In that case, you should not feel frustrated. You should not feel angry that somebody is trying to put you down. Somebody is trying to overrule you. Somebody is not allowing you to speak, but he is continuously speaking. You should not show anger and frustration because this is what the assessors are looking for. Are you displaying nervousness? Are you displaying lack of self-confidence? Are you running short of words? Are you fumbling? Are you getting stuck without delivering anything? All these things will be noted. Don't give them a chance to note all these things because all these are all negative attributes. You may not even clear the Ppdt then. Because Ppdt is display of your self-confidence, display of your speaking skills and your emotional stability. Because emotionally, if you get affected, it will show in your body language. It is very easy to pick up all these negative emotions when you feel angry or when you feel frustrated. You feel dejected that nobody is allowing you to speak. You're not able to convey the points. You're not able to remember the points. A lot of things come to your mind that time. But anybody who has got a balanced mind will overcome these negative emotions very easily. If you get perturbed, that will be noticed and that will, get you negative points. As I told you, start discussion fairly quick. Don't wait for too long. In case you get stuck, it is fine. But you have to regain your composure and start the discussion. You cannot keep watching and watching. What will happen is the lack of self-confidence will snowball. It will keep increasing. Then what will happen is finally you will be totally dumbstruck. You will not be able to speak at all. So be careful about that. Eye contact with everyone. Discussing with your syndicate means maintaining eye contact at them. There are certain candidates who look at a far off tree or a building or something and they keep talking. Not permitted. You are supposed to look into the eyes of the people and communicate. There are few more people. They fix their eyes on one person and they start continuously discussing, talking to that one person without looking at the rest of the syndicate because of lack of self confidence. Even that is not permitted. You have to look at everybody, you have to look into their eyes. Your eyes should also speak when you speak. That is how the communication should happen, and this will be definitely noticed by the assessors. Discuss confidently. Sometimes what happens is you may not remember your story. You may feel a bit less confident, but it should be within in you inside. You should not show it outside. You should, even if you don't know, discuss confidently. Then you will get a positive tick instead of getting a negative tick because of your lack of self confidence. Yes, this is something you have to be very careful about. Fish market scenario will be there. Everybody will be talking, everybody will be shouting, everybody will be trying to convey his or her point across to others. So there is too much of noise. Lot of new candidates, lot of first timers, they get stuck in this saying that, sir, every person is speaking. There is too much of noise. Nobody can hear what the other is saying. What do I do? The first myth is that whether you people are able to listen to what you guys are speaking to each other or not, the assessors have got the capability because of their experience to separately listen to each one of you. There might be too much of noise, but still the assessor will be able to pick the points which are told by each and every person in the syndicate. If there are 15 people, the assessor has got the capability of listening to all 15 at the same time and also take points out of what you're talking. So if you think I'm not able to speak, I keep speaking the same thing again and again. Like for example, in the school, when you go and write an exam, there are some exams like history. There are candidates who do this. If you get stuck in history, after a few lines you don't remember the story, you repeat the same lines again and again and make it into a big paragraph and come back, and then you hope that the teacher who corrects that paper sees so much of content and gives you some marks, although that content is nothing but repetition of the same one line or two lines all through the answer. Same thing happens in discussion also. There are some candidates who think they are very smart. They are, even if they are not getting enough points to talk, what they do is they keep talking the same thing again and again and again. The assessor can even count how many times you repeated the same thing, same narration again and again all through the discussion. He can even pinpoint this candidate has repeated the same line 10 times during the discussion. That much of capability is there in the assessors. So we can always make out who is talking sense, who is talking nonsense, who is repeating the same thing again and again, who has got some kind of an imagination, who has got some kind of a stuff, and who is just bluffing. Each and everything can be easily noted down by the assessors. Just remember that. So don't try to cheat. You may be new to that situation. The assessors have been doing it for donkey's years. They have seen thousands of candidates come and go. So it is very easy. Despite the commotion, they can pick and choose which candidate is saying what, and even mentally remember, they can even make a note of all these things. So never try to cheat. Just wait for the lull to enter the discussion. What does the lull mean? During the course of interaction, in the discussion, a lot of noise keeps happening, but you will find a particular time in which everybody is silent. That may be for 1 second, that may be for half a second. Everybody is silent. So if you have not been able to enter the discussion, you should use this particular moment and enter the discussion when everybody else is silent. So what is the outcome? When everybody is silent for half a second, if you enter the conversation, you will have the attention of everybody for that half second when you enter the conversation. After that, if you are smartly conveying what you have to say, if you are giving a real good story, if your narration is good and confident, everybody else will listen to you. Remember that. So, if you get stuck, you can only wait for the lull and join in. And of course, that cannot be for too long as well. Then it shows that you are a passive member in the group and you are not actively participating in the discussion. Listening is also important, because when you discuss, what the other people have told also have to be considered. You should know what the other people have discussed, because somebody might have given a plan which is not workable. Say chest number 12 gave a plan which is not workable. So when you discuss, you have to point out that, saying that chest number 12 has given this plan, but I think this may not work out so easily because of these factors. So instead, I would like to modify this plan and present it like this. So this is part of the discussion. So if you listen, you can understand. And again, you may say, sir, so many people are speaking, how do I do it? Again, this is when offline practice comes handy. A lot of my students ask me, sir, I am attending some online class somewhere. I am doing some online SSB preparation. Understand, online teaching is only meant to give you the basic knowledge about the pattern and how you need to prepare. I cannot make you prepare well for SSB interview online. That is not possible. There are people who conduct online group discussions, online PPDTs. Okay, for practice sake, a little bit of knowledge sake, you can do that. But unless you face real people, unless you attend offline classes in a syndicate which knows what to do, your practice will be incomplete. So always remember, offline practice is very, very important. Online practice cannot give all that the offline practice gives you. So when you come for offline practice, you will be discussing many PPDT pictures like this, and slowly you will start understanding how to listen to people, how to listen to somebody even when there is so much of commotion around. So many people are shouting, still how can you listen to somebody? That practice will come. This is required. This can happen only in offline practice. So remember this. And I also want to tell you people, only if you attend online practices, online classes regularly, I'll call you for offline. If you are not regular, I will not call you, because I don't want the syndicate to be weak with people who are inadequately prepared. I want everybody to be well prepared, so that when you come and discuss offline, you give tough competition to each other. In result, your capabilities to face candidates from other states will increase. Yes. This is one important point where you may find you are not being listened to. Nobody is listening to you. You are trying to put across a point. Nobody is listening. You are not getting a gap to speak. You keep speaking, but nothing is happening. So this technique is used to enter the conversation. Agree to the point of the dominant candidate and then enter the discussion. Say chest number 10 is the most, you can say, the person who is engaging everyone. He has got good eye contact, he has got material, he has got fluency in English, he has got the confidence, he is delivering. Now if you think you are not able to enter the conversation easily, the technique is to agree with the dominant candidate. You can say, okay, I agree with chest number 10. What will happen is, each one of the candidates is talking so that he is heard. He wants to impress the assessor. That is why he is talking. So when you recognize his point, when you say, I agree with chest number 10, what happens is, chest number 10 will get distracted for a fraction of a time, where he is looking at you and he is recognizing that you are agreeing with the point. So what will happen is the person who has been so far dominant, so far speaking continuously with eye contact, giving the right points with a lot of self confidence, for half a second you are actually distracting that person, you are actually mellowing that person. Basically, when you find somebody is agreeing to you, you have a soft corner towards that person. So what happens is when you agree openly with chess number 10, chess number 10 will halt for half a second and look at you in recognition of your appreciation or your agreement with his point. So that is when you have to enter and add your point. So you have entered the conversation, you have successfully been able to halt the person who is the most dominant person in the syndicate, and you have entered the conversation. Then after that, it is your capability. By using this trick, you can stop that person for half a second. You can even enter the conversation, but continuing the discussion, continuing to give the points confidently, getting across your point to everyone is your capability. That will come only with practical experience on ground. That is the offline practice. Remember this always. This is another leadership quality. Encourage the silent members to speak. But remember, without you speaking, you cannot encourage somebody else to speak. That means that you are openly agreeing in the syndicate that you are a loser. You should do this only after you have conveyed your point, you have taken adequate chances to discuss, to convey your point across to everyone. Basically, after you have put your flag in that team, after you have proven to everyone that you are a dominant member, you are a confident member, you have a good delivery of English, you are able to look into the eyes and speak. So after you have successfully done, when you run out of points, when you feel satisfied that you have adequately contributed in the group, that is the time you should encourage the silent members to speak. Don't do it in the beginning, do it at the end, because you have to prove your worth first and then help others. Charity begins at home. So first you have to convey what you have to say in adequate number of attempts and in manner. Then you can say, okay, let's give a chance to chess number 8. He's trying to say something. So this is how you have to tell others that we should give a chance to that person who is not even speaking. Maybe that person is a bit weak, that person is a hesitant person, he is not able to convey. You give him a chance to speak by telling others, okay, gentlemen, let's ask chess number 8's views, or let's ask the chess number 8, let's listen to chess number 8, something like that. So when chess number 8 speaks, you get a brownie point, because the strength of the team always depends upon the weakest member of the team. Say if you are running for a cross country competition as a team, there are team participations also. So you go as your college team, you are going and participating in the marathon or a cross country, whatever. You are 5 members in that team representing the college team. When you start running, the weakest member, the person who is running last, the person who seems to have lost the energy, the person who is struggling to keep pace with you all, is the weakest member. As a team, you have to carry that weakest member along with you. You have to motivate that person. You have to match the step of that person and try to increase your step, asking the person to match your step again back and run. You can give corrections. Okay, lean forward, take longer breaths, look onto the ground, keep your body slanting forward. Come on, let's do it. Come on, you can do it. Just a little bit more. Come on. So all these words of encouragement is given to the weakest person so that the team wins. In this scenario, in this discussion, you are trying to reflect the same attitude of a leader. You are a team player. You want your team to win. You don't want individual glory. That is why the weak member of the team is encouraged to perform. You understand? And when you go on to the warlike scenario, there are times when the leader finds his team lacks motivation, lacks confidence. Maybe one person has got injured. You would have seen it even in movies, like one person gets injured and all no, the team moves forward with that person on the back or with support. They will not leave the man behind, they will take the man forward. So what happens is the display of camaraderie, the team action, the support of the leader, the support of the team members towards the weakest link. So when you ask this chess number 8, when you ask your team to allow the chess number 8 to speak, or you encourage the chess number 8 to speak just by giving him an opportunity, just by cutting across the commotion and taking the name of chess number 8 and asking him to speak, you are displaying the same kind of OLQ. Remember this. So that is why it is important. But yes, you have to use these techniques as per the situation. You cannot by heart and say, okay, I will now ask some chess number to speak. Don't do that. It should be natural. If you practice it in a way that you are going to do it in every discussion, you will be noticed. It's very easy to make up. It's very easy to find out who is doing all this. Pre-practiced ways of discussing. Don't do that. If a chance comes, do it. If there is no chance, don't force yourself on somebody else and ask that person to speak. It looks so artificial, it looks so pre-practiced that you may lose your points. Try to find common aspects in stories narrated. In case your story and somebody else's story are different, at least try to find some common thing, because if you are asked to deliver the syndicate solution, basically the group story, then you will have to use all these points. Remember that. So finally, after the group has discussed for some time, the assessor may interrupt and say, okay, now you nominate somebody to deliver the story, narrate the story. So in this, the discussion comes to an end and the members of the syndicate have to nominate somebody to narrate the story. If you want, you can volunteer, but others will have to agree to it. You cannot keep shouting, I want to narrate, I want to narrate, and nobody is listening to you. Just keep quiet after that. Don't push yourself to that extent where you start shouting, you start, drawing others' attention even when they don't want to narrate you, nominate you. Remember that. You can volunteer softly, subtly. If you are not being listened to, if they are not volunteering, it is okay. Then go by the common consensus. If some two, three people are nominating chess number 10, then you join with them. Okay, fine. Yes, chess number 10. I would agree with that decision. We will volunteer chess number 10. You gracefully accept defeat and recommend somebody else. There are some candidates who keep fighting for volunteering. I will narrate, I will narrate, I will narrate. They keep shouting and they try to gather everybody's attention so that they will nominate this person's name. Don't do that. It shows lack of self-confidence. It shows lack of gracefulness. Sometimes when you find setbacks, you can't flinch. You can't sulk. You can't keep crying saying that no, my story has not been heard. If they are nominating you, it is fine. If they don't nominate you, even then it is fine, because the person who gets nominated does not have any guarantee that he will clear the stage 1. So, if you don't volunteer, you have found somebody else good and better, you please nominate that person along with others. So, no additional marks are